We are live, they say. Guys, I am working from 2 screens tonight. You know this shall be a disaster because normally I can't even operate one screen. But see, Rona's already laughing. Right before we went live, Steve said, don't forget to hit record in case we don't stream live. And yeah, I don't even know where that button's at this moment. Anyway, it is December 2024. Quilt Babble Live with Lisa and Rona. Merry Christmas, Rona.
Merry Christmas, everybody.
I got my jingles and you got your light. Oh, you really got light.
Yeah, my reindeer ears have little lights on them. Oh, they're recording. Yeah, this thing is so old. I think I've had these ears for I don't know, 20 years, 10 years, long time. I'm surprised they actually still work, to be honest.
They're fabulous. Now, Rona and I did not plan this, but we did realize once we got on camera right before we hit live that she's bringing the green, I'm bringing the red. Look at us. We're all totally jolly. I need my ears. I looked for my Santa's hat and guys, everything is packed up still. You see this room. Anyway, I don't have my Santa hat, but I've got one on my shirt that says I believe. Does that count?
I think it counts. Yeah, I debated on whether or not to do a Santa hat because I have like 4. So, and they're all in we have this great little Christmas box thing that goes by the fireplace, and that's where we have all the Santa hats in case anybody wants to wear one, and my ears, of course.
Well, I'm going to say, I think the ears are fabulous. I'm glad you chose the ears.
And my ears, of course. Oh, somebody's on.
I don't know what just happened in life.
I don't know, but I heard myself. That was weird. Okay, I think we're good now. You never know what's going to happen.
You never know, but what I was going to say is I'm glad you got your ears because that reminds me of Scott Flanagan's Moose Be Quilting. I'm just saying.
That is true. Yeah, I mean, they are reindeer, but yeah, they definitely could go into the moose category. Yeah.
I'm going to take it that way. So Teresa Justin says, Merry Christmas, and Merry Christmas to you, Teresa. I'm glad you're here because I'm going to be talking about you, or maybe I shouldn't say about you. I'm going to be talking lovely Teresa things later. So I'm glad you're here tonight. Guys, tonight, Rona and I are going to do what we do best. We are going to babble all things Christmas. There's going to be a few little quilty things in there, but I think the most fun thing tonight is that Rona feels very confident in her skills. See, she's laughing. That she is going to be able to make a Christmas ornament tonight without making any errors while we babble along with you guys. Rona, what is the name of the ornament, and do you have a finished product to show them so they know what it's supposed to look like?
Yeah, I did have them hanging off of my ears, but they kept falling off. So this is the Scandinavian Christmas star, and we made this, was it last year that I came down? Yeah, we did the Christmas ornament workshop. So yeah, these are the Scandinavian Christmas stars, and they look much more difficult than they actually are. And I actually have, I'll put a link in the chat because I have a blog post on how you can make them. Like I said, they're much easier than they look. So, which I think is kind of the best part, because then when you gift them to people, they think you worked really hard on them.
Well, I will tell you, last year when you did that workshop, the classroom was totally full and there was people still begging to get in, and we literally, truly had no room at the end. But everybody had so much fun. I see Sharon Riles is tuned in tonight with her happy-go-lucky Christmas spirit, bah humbug. That is a joke between she and I. We were talking about that last night at the York County Quilters Guild December Christmas dinner. And so Rona, last night, actually, hold on a minute before we go there. Everybody, hopefully you got your little drinky drink with us tonight. Rona's got her drink. You've also got some, what are you munching on, Rona?
Oh, yeah, so this is my Memos trash. This is what we call crack because you can't stop eating it. So whatever you like is your limit. Like if you only want to have a few pieces, that's all you put in the bowl because you will keep eating it. It's addicting. And yeah. So yeah, I have that on the website too. I sent that out in my newsletter last week, I think. But yeah, I'll put that in there too. Yeah, it's so funny too because I don't think that wasn't the right.
Oh,
Sorry,
Lord,
not the right link. It was the wrong link. Okay, anyway, I've had a lot of sugar.
But this is why I say you're not going to be able to make that ornament without a faux pas, because you can't even post a link at this point without a faux pas.
It's bad. Yeah, no, I get asked every year, like I know how to make several different candies because my Mama used to make, oh my gosh, everything from Martha Washington's to Divinity to, I mean, just all kinds of things. But this is what I get asked for every year. But they don't ask me. They ask my husband. Is Rona making trash again this year?
I love it. I love it. So guys, moral of the story, get your little Christmas mug out or whatever. Get your little drinky drink tonight. Get your little snack and just sit back. Hopefully you guys will join the babble. And in the comment section, you will put some of your Christmas stories, your memories, or things that you've made. We're going to be talking about all kinds of things. But I wanted to say that before I got into my story about me and Sharon Riles last night at the guild meeting. So, Rona, at the guild meeting last night, while we were waiting on all the food to get, placed on the tables, and we did a little mix and mingle. And so I created this sheet that was called Find a Quilter Who. And then it had about 12 or 14 things on there, and you had to find someone in the room that could sign off on that. So some of the things that was on it was who has at least 5 Christmas quilts, who has never made a Christmas quilt, who's wearing red. Anyway, all of these things. Who made Christmas stockings for their family, that kind of stuff. Everybody loved it, Rona. It was so much fun to watch. Well, me and Sharon was giggling, and we said next year we need to do the bah humbug Grinch version of that. I think it would be so much fun.
That would be fun. Yes.
Yes. So instead of maybe, have you made a homemade stocking for your, family members who have sold something out of your family member's stocking? Maybe that. I don't know, but I know Sharon, and she's going to be the perfect little humbug Grinch to help create that sheet for next year. I'm just saying.
Yeah. Who's ever gotten coal in their stocking?
So, Rona, I'm going to ask you, have you ever made a Christmas quilt?
Yes, and it's upstairs and it's on, but I've only made the one. But I have a couple of boxes that contain all of the fabric and everything to make like 3 or 4 more Christmas quilts, including an actual kit that I bought because I loved it. And yeah, there's still, haven't even cut up the fabric or anything. It's,
Well, at least you can say you made one. So I was the person last night that everybody was coming to sign off on has never made a Christmas quilt. And the sad thing is, much like yourself, though you have made at least one, I have been collecting Christmassy fabric because I want mine to be very scrappy and have a lot of those like plaids and stuff in it. Yeah. And for it to really have that vintage feel. So yeah, it was quite embarrassing last night. So I'm going to have to up my game and get me a Christmas quilt done. But if Nancy McNally's watching this, we haven't put it out yet, but Nancy and I are going to be doing a sew along for, I think, 4 months or 6 months, coming late spring, early summer, and it's a Christmas quilt.
Oh, fun. I may have to try and join that one.
Yeah, it's gonna be free. It's gonna be virtual.
Yeah, that's gonna be fun. The Christmas quilt that I do have, it's Christmas because it's Christmas fabric. Other than that, it's literally just a bunch of half square triangles that I put together.
Well,
So
there you go.
it was so simple and so quick, and but I needed a Christmas quilt to go on my couch. So
Yeah.
yeah, that's why it got made and
Well,
nothing
you
else.
got further down the path than I did. So hopefully with this sew along, and I can't tell you anything about the design for those of you that are watching because we haven't released all the information yet. But it is coming. It is coming. Teresa Justice says, "Woo, I'm in. I think it's gonna be so much fun." Nancy designed the quilt, so I'm just gonna put that out there. Hey, Miss Jean, she says, "Hi, ladies, Merry Christmas." That's Jean Flanagan. That is Scott's mom. Main design. She's always supporting us. We love us some Miss Jean.
Yes, both his parents are awesome.
They really are. They really are. But Jean mamas us when we're at market and stuff. She's always making sure we've ate, we're warm, we're this, we're that. Jean is fabulous.
Yeah, she tried her best to keep me corralled, but it was kind of a losing battle.
It really is. It really is. But speaking of keeping you corralled, so tell everybody what's the first steps you're doing right now, Rona, on this ornament. And did you post the link where they can get it if they want to?
Yes. Yeah, so I got the link in there. So the first thing that you have to do, which I will admit I did, I pre-did a little bit. So you take your Christmas fabrics. Now you can do it in 4 different fabrics like these are, or you can do it in 2 fabrics, but at least 2. And you're going to make 4 pieces that are 6.5 by 3.5. And you put fusible interfacing on the back, just one-sided fusible. Okay. And then you take 2 pieces, opposites, you want them opposites, and you peel the paper off and stick them together so that they're fused double-sided.
So is this a lightweight fusible, medium weight? What would you say?
There you go. So it would be fused like that. Yeah, I just use the lightweight, the featherweight one. It doesn't have to be thick because you still want to be able to, play with it because you're going to be folding and moving and all that. And then, so when you get your pieces together, you're going to cut them down. You'll end up with 2 double-sided, and then you cut them down into, trim it to 6 by 3, and then you're going to have double-sided, cut them into strips. So each strip is going to be 6 inches by 1/2 inch. So you'll end up with 6 of them, or 12 total, 6 from each ones. Whoop.
I'm just saying that sounds like a perfect thing to be cutting on one of your stripology rulers. Either the mini square, the squared, or whatever.
Yeah, does it have the mini? Because you're just cutting 1/2 inch.
Yeah, all of them are 1/2 inch slits, but that mini would be perfect. Okay, guys. So while Rona is slicing and dicing her strips, and if you want, you can download the instructions for this ornament. I want to talk real quick while Rona's getting herself situated about some ornaments. So
I have more. Yeah, more ornaments. Go ahead.
I know you do. I know you do. But since I know Teresa Justice is on here, Rona and I, when we knew she was going to be working on making an ornament while we talked, I was like, oh my God, let's talk about some homemade ornaments and gifts that we've received. So I have been very fortunate. Now, unfortunately, all my stuff is packed up because, as you know, I've been redoing this room. Guys, I'm getting so close. That's all I'm going to say. And y'all probably don't believe me because it's been 12 months, but only the past 2 months have I been saying I'm getting real close. But anyway, so Teresa Justice for the last, I want to say probably 3-4 years, I have been blessed enough to get a Christmas card that always has an ornament on the inside. And I'm going to show you this year's ornament because once again, all my other stuff is all packed up. Hopefully you're going to be able to see this on camera. So this is, I was looking for a ruler. Hold on. You know, quilters always got rulers laying around.
Yes, we do.
I know. So this is about 4.5 inches wide or circumference, whatever word you say. I don't know if you can see it or not, but that is all hand stitched.
Wow.
Okay, but then look, there's the red things. That's not thread. Those are little micro beads for the berries. Here's
Wow.
yeah, I know. Anybody that knows Teresa Justice knows that her handwork is absolutely amazing. But I just thought this was the cutest ornament. And I always feel so honored to get anything homemade from anybody. But I kind of guilted Teresa to this one this year because I told her she has spoiled me, Rona, because I've had a homemade ornament for a couple years running. So
Yeah.
now I guilted her. I'm like, you have to give me a homemade ornament this year. She's probably thinking, Lisa, when will you ever make me a homemade ornament? I'm going to have to do that. But on this, the cool thing is this right here is just your regular quilter's cotton fabric.
Yeah.
And she used white tone on tone, and it's snowflake fabric in the back. So
Wow.
cute. Yes, but the beadwork, everything, and then this right here looks like a piece of felt, and I know you guys can't see it on camera probably, but she hand stitched around the edges so there's no raw edges. Teresa Justice says thank you, and I'm happy you like it. I don't like it. I love it. Absolutely.
You know what?
Love it.
One of my favorite things that I ever got was from one of my students years ago. She made me, because I don't know if it's knitted or crocheted. I don't know the difference, but because I don't do either. But it's like this big, and it's like a Christmas plate with bells and everything hanging off it, and it was all hand knitted, and I love that thing. I keep it. I still have it with all my Christmas decorations.
Absolutely. You can't, oh my gosh, homemade. So I'm going to show another ornament that I got last year, and I'm almost positive this one was from Teresa Justice also. I have kept it in the wrapper. It came in this wrapper here. It's clear with snowflakes on it. But the reason I've kept it in this wrapper is because it has glitter on it. And I love glitter, and I didn't want the glitter to go away. So hold on a second. Let me find the opening, and I'm going to open this for you guys so you can see. And Teresa, you may have, tell me for sure, because my name is lost on this, but I think you made this for me. So tell me. So Teresa also says Mary Corbett pattern. So I think she's talking about this Christmas ornament. If you guys are interested, look up Mary Corbett. That's Corbet. And why can I not find the end of this? Oh my gosh. Watch me have to tear it. I'm not happy about that. Oh, Teresa Justice says I did not make that one. Well, that would make sense why Teresa's Justice name was not on this, because honestly, I cannot remember. Hold on, I'm looking for scissors. I can't remember who did. I really thought it was Teresa. Whoever it is, if you're watching, please remind me that you gave me this. But I thought it was really cool because here it comes. So it's glittery on both sides. I don't know if the camera is going to pick that shimmer up a little bit. But see how thin that is? It's so thin, but whatever this is made out of, Rona, it holds its shape. And then when you hang it on the tree, the lights really glisten on that glitter.
I wonder if it's starched fabric, but like liquid starch.
I was thinking that is the case. And maybe it might not even have liquid starch on it. I'm wondering if maybe they Mod Podged the glitter on.
That's possible.
That feel, but it's definitely fabric, I think. But it's fabulous. So once again, this was something that came in a Christmas card. It's thin enough, guys, that if you want to make something for someone far away, but you don't want it to, you know, up the price of the Christmas card, because God knows postage right now is ridiculous. I just thought this was lovely. And then, like I said, it was in this cool little thing. Sharon Crosdale said, "Hi, Rona. It's great to be here with you and Lisa." Sharon, was your ears burning last night? Because we were talking about you at the Quilt Guild. We were saying how you make the most amazing cards. She makes, have you ever had one, Rona?
What?
One of Sharon's homemade cards, Sharon Crosdale's homemade cards.
Yeah, she was, I think for the Charlotte Guild, she was the I forget the name of the board position. But yeah, so like she would make cards to send out for when people had birthdays and all that kind of stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, they're fabulous. Anyway, Sharon, we were singing your praises last night. So this is an ornament that I think, Rona, you had made some of these before, but this one was gifted to me this year by one of our customers. Her name is Paula Dawkins. And she made a bunch and she brought them in and let everybody who's working choose one, which I thought was so precious to do. But once again, this one is much like the one you're doing, Rona. But I think the one you're doing, do you have to use glue or anything?
Yeah, you use glue. It's hot glue. That one.
You just fold, right?
Yeah, well, yeah, you can also put a dot of glue in there too when you tuck them. But yeah, it's just folded. And that was the one. So last year when I taught the workshop at SewEndipitous, that was the first ornament we made. And that was the one that was actually the hardest, but everybody thought would be the easiest.
Yeah, I think the one you're making now to me does look the hardest. This one looks easier. Now, do you remember, is this like a fat quarter or what do you use to make this one? Do you remember?
I'm trying to remember. Because it's the same thing. You're cutting strips, and then you fold the strips, and then like literally fold them in on each other. And then from there you start doing the weaving,
like braiding?
Folding and weaving. Yeah.
Got you. Okay, so I have another homemade ornament to show. These are just the ones that are not packed up, guys. So this one is the no sew, right, Rona? No sew?
Oh yeah. I got a whole box of those. I have a ton of those.
Of course you do. So this one was made by one of the ladies. Her church actually makes these every year and they sell them. That's why they do a fundraiser. This one is Gamecocks. But anyway, Brenda Reeves is the lady that made this one and gifted. And I don't know if you guys can see it, but there's really pretty stick pins in there to kind of decorate it, if you will. I've never made one of these. We did a class on this one last year as well. The class was full. Everybody loved this class.
See, and I thought about doing that one last year for the class, but I thought that that one is so popular, like that wouldn't, meaning like so many people already know how to make them. I didn't think that that people would be interested in it.
Well, if you remember, you and I talked about it, but we had the class on this, I want to say a couple weeks before you did your class. So it was perfect. They had this, and then your two ornaments was fabulous. So here's another for you hand stitchery people out there. I love hand stitchery. So this is another one that I absolutely love. If I remember correctly, this one was made by Barbara Quinn, and it's all wool, and it's actually a little stocking. So if you made these for your family members or friends, you could, you know, put a little few pieces of candy or what is that, grandma's trash? You got ornaments too, or stocking ornaments. Yes.
I made these. Yeah, this one's not nearly as fancy as that one. No snowman or anything. And this one's basically big enough to put a little candy cane in. But yeah, I love these ones. And they're so easy to make. The little stockings, I mean.
Yeah. Oh, they really are. Now, Barbara Quinn that made this, she always goes above and beyond. I mean, the little snowman's nose is a little carrot button. These are little buttons. Yeah, this is definitely high test for sure. I've made some of the ones like you had in your hand, real quick and easy. especially when Jacob was in school. Like I would make them and stuff them and send to his teachers and stuff.
Yeah.
Really, really cute. So, Sharon Crosdale said, or a gift card would fit. Absolutely. A gift card will fit in this size for sure, Sharon. You are exactly correct. And it's a good way to add a personal touch to a gift card, right?
Yes. Okay, real quick. So I can't show you this on the, because I have all my pieces cut out. I can't show you this on the mat, but I usually do this part on a cutting mat, so you can line it up, because you want it to line up. You're going to make two pieces, and whichever sides you want to show, those are the ones that you put together. So you want it to be perfectly centered. So this is not perfectly centered, but that's why I use the cutting mat. So you can literally line it up so that it's the cross here is perfectly centered. And then you're going to put just a little dollop of glue right there. I use hot glue gun.
Okay.
And then you're going to start your weave. So you're literally going to add 2 more strips. And like I said, whatever colors you want to show out, keep those same colors. Does that make sense? So I'm just putting this side up. So you want to weave, and then once you get these, same thing, I put just a little dollop of glue where they intersect. And then, oop, if I can actually do this.
Well, it's probably harder to do in the air, so we'll give you
It is. But yeah, so you're going to do 3 and 3. So it'll be literally like that, but tight and all even.
Okay.
So you're just going to do 3 and 3 in a weave, and then do the same thing with the other ones.
Okay, so we'll let you work on that. We're gonna keep rolling. So, speaking of other Christmas things, so I got this week or last week actually, and I was in love with it. So one of our customers, Scott Flanagan, says, "Happy Christmas, my peeps! Happy Christmas, Merry Christmas to you,
Merry Christmas, Scott."
So last week, Ann Bellinger, she made these little bags, and she made one for all of the employees at SewEndipitous. Once again, absolutely adorable. But as soon as I seen them, before I even picked them up or knew what was in them or anything, I started telling her, I said, "Ann, we don't deserve this." And she's like, "Why?" I said, "Because look at the fabric. It is Charlie Brown Christmas fabric." She was like, "Honey," she goes, that is old fabric. It's seriously not that big a deal." And I'm like, "No, that's why we don't deserve it. It's fabulous vintage Charlie Brown Christmas." But she made one for everybody. So once again, guys, something small and simple really does go a long way. So in this little bag is full of kisses.
Aw, what a cute idea.
It was so cute, but the fabric, I'm just going to tell you now, I don't think I could have parted with this fabric. But she's probably like a lot of people, they're like de-stash after a while and be like, "Okay, I got to quit being ridiculous and use it," right?
Yeah, I'm at that stage. I'm gonna have to go through everything.
I'm never going to be at that stage. I've got some fabric that is some of the first fabric I ever bought, and I love it so much. I still just take it out and pet it. It will probably never ever be cut.
That's my frond fabric, the Stephanie Brandenburg. I have a whole collection of her fabrics that I just take them out and I pet them, and I love them and admire them, and then I put them safely back in their box.
Exactly. Exactly. But you know, once again, it's all about age, right? So for us growing up, Charlie Brown Christmas was like everything. And so literally, I think she gave this to me on Thursday. And then Saturday night or Sunday, I was like, I'm gonna have my Christmas cartoon night. So I watched Charlie Brown Christmas. And I will tell you, Rona, I laughed so hard. I don't remember really liking it as a kid. You watched it because it came on, but I think it was over my head or something as a kid. But this year when I watched it, I was just dying laughing at Snoopy. And then, of course, is it Lucy, the one that has the psychiatrist booth? And she's all about the money. Isn't her name Lucy?
I always get the girls mixed up. Which one's which?
But you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, yes.
Anyway, here's Charlie Brown puts a nickel in her thing, and she didn't even want to hear what his problem was. She's just shaking her thing, and she's like, "Cold hard cash. I love it. I love the sound of nickels clanging." And I don't know, they just cracked me up. So I watched that. I watched Frosty the Snowman, and then of course I had to watch Santa Claus Coming to Town. Good old little Kris Kringle.
Yes.
I was like looking at the ages of when all of this was released, and I want to say 2 out of the 3 was released before I was born.
Yeah, I believe that. They're pretty old. The movies.
I'm pretty old. What are you talking about?
But they're the clay animation, right? They're not. They were made way before any of the CGI and all that stuff. Disney stuff.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, the Santa Claus is Coming to Town. Like, I just, it was so funny. Well, not funny. It was sad. I was sitting there. I was like a little kid, right? I just watched one right after the other. And I was like, do kids even watch Santa Claus is Coming to Town anymore? Like, would they pay attention? Because, even when they're singing the toy songs, it's about a toy drum and a little train and a doll. Nothing technology is my point. I'm like,
is that Rudolph? Which one's the Santa Claus? I thought it was Rudolph.
Well, they made the Rudolph one, but I didn't get to that because I don't think my streaming channels had that one. No, the one that Santa Claus is Coming to Town is literally the beginning of Kris Kringle and how he ended up at the North Pole with the elves.
Yep, I remember. Yeah.
And he meets Mrs. soon-to-be Kris Kringle.
Yeah.
And remember, no toys were allowed. Come on, Rona, classics.
Rudolph and Charlie Brown, those were my 2 favorites when I was a kid. I would watch those every year.
What about Frosty? You gotta love Frosty.
Oh yeah, I would watch Frosty too, but Rudolph was always my favorite, like I said.
Oh my gosh.
How about the Grinch?
Our local community theater just did the play last week, and I went. And yes, it was Lucy. Yay, I got it right.
You got it right. I have an extra piece, and I don't know how I got an extra piece. Okay, there you go. Sorry.
Because you're babbling and trying to make an ornament. Scott also says, I'm all about the Grinch. All of them. Now, see, I'm an anti-Grinch. I never liked the cartoon or movies. Did you?
Oh, yeah. I'm not so much. I mean, the Jim Carrey one is fun. But, yeah, I always liked the Grinch. Because the Dr. Seuss. I loved anything Dr. Seuss.
I love Dr. Seuss, but he was still in the present. I can't get past that. So I literally, to be honest with you, I never watched The Grinch until I was way old. Probably Jacob was a kid. And I actually watched The Grinch all the way through because, I was anti-Grinch.
Okay, so I want to show, we were talking about ornaments. I want to show you my ornament. Because and we're talking about old, like when we were growing up and stuff. So real quick story, when my son was really little and we were, I was not making a lot of money and we didn't have any for our first apartment, or we had just moved into a new apartment and I didn't have any money for Christmas, anything. So my parents bought us a tree and then my grandparents gave us ornaments. And these were ornaments from when I was a kid. And like way back in the day when people used to make their own ornaments, and I still have some of them. This is one of them. Made out of the little wood people.
Yes.
Yeah, I have several of them, and I also have these little. There's only a couple of them that have survived over the years, but they're little packages and it's little foam squares that somebody wrapped fabric around. And then, but they're only like this big, they're tiny. and they're little packages on ornaments. I have another one that's like a little Mrs. Claus sitting on top of a candy cane. And yeah, I love these things.
Those are so cute, and it's awesome to know you've had it that long. Now, did you ever do in school, and maybe maybe this is just something the hillbilly kids did, but did you ever in school at Christmas time, your teachers let you make ornaments out of, like, I don't know, it was something that was baked. It looked like sugar cookies, but they were hard, and you painted them. And
I think so. Yeah, I remember something like that. Yeah.
maybe Steve will chime in because, well,
Was it clay?
Both of us, Rona. So maybe, but I remember making them, and so you can make them and gift them to your parents or your grandparents for Christmas.
Yeah.
But they were made out of dough, but then they baked them and made them hard. If anybody else in Babble Land knows what I'm talking about, chime in. In the meantime, that says, my 4-year-old grandson loved the old Rudolph. I love the old Rudolph. Rudolph was always my fave. Frosty was a close second. What'd you say, Rona?
Scott said shrinky dinks. I'm not sure I don't know what that is.
Shrinky dinks. Is that the plastic that you melt? They were all different color. I don't know what shrinky dinks is. Scott's probably much younger than us. I'm not sure.
Scott, we're showing our age.
Do what?
We're showing our age.
Girl, please, my gray hair shows my age. Scott said earlier this may put our friendship in jeopardy. I'm pretty sure he's referring to when I said I'm not all about the Grinch.
So Andrea says salt dough. That sounds right.
Salt. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Andrea.
I think that's right. Hi, Andrea, by the way.
Yeah. Scott says it was baked, but I can't remember what they were made out of. But I think Andrea is right. Salt dough.
Yeah, that sounds right. Yeah.
I feel like I want to make some of those.
So I've got my things. Like I said, you're gonna make 2 of them with the little weaves in them.
Okay.
So now you're gonna take the corners and just the outside, and you're literally just gonna fold them so that fold it out. This again is much easier on the mat than doing it in the air. So you're gonna fold it. Hopefully you can see this so that it overlaps and makes kind of a little, and you want the 2 ends to come together like that.
All right. Okay.
And then put 1 little dollop of glue, and you're going to do that for all 4 sides, 4 corners there, and then do the same for this one, but opposite. So like this one, I have the red and white facing out. The other one, I'm going to do the black and white facing out. That makes sense?
It does make sense. You're making me want to make some of these. So, Rona, we've been talking about Christmas memories and when we were kids. And while you're making that, I want you to think about one of your funny Christmas moments when you were a kid. And while you're thinking and working on your ornament, I'm going to tell you, we talked about, I'm showing my age. I'm about to show my age again. And I'm going to have to go to Mom's house and see if I can find a picture of this, just so I can post later for you all to really get this reference. So when Rona and I were talking about this episode, and, we wanted to talk about homemade ornaments and gifting things and that kind of stuff. And then we wanted to talk about some of our childhood memories. So one of the things that popped in my head that is very relatable to our audience, because I'm pretty sure if you're, viewing Quilt Babble live means you know how to sew, right? And you deal with fabric. So back in the day, way back in the day, one Christmas, I got this gift that I absolutely was in love with. So I was probably, and I'm guessing that I was 5 or 6 years old. So just to put this all in perspective, mom and dad built the house that we was raised in. I think we moved into the house when I was probably 3 or 4. I hadn't started kindergarten yet. And anyway, I was born in the 70s, so you can understand the color schemes in the house. There was some shag carpet that was green. There was some shag carpet that was orange. There was blue shag carpet, gold shag carpet. But in our living room, we had red shag carpet. I need you to picture this, Rona.
Oh, I can see it. I can see it. Yeah. We had it too.
We had red shag carpet. The paneling was a really dark blackish brown. I want to say more black than brown. Steve might chime in if my memories are a little off. But anyway, our living room suit was faux leather, vinyl, whatever. I don't know what it was in the 70s. But it was white with these black like streaks. It wasn't zebra print, but it was white with black streaks. So we've got the red shag carpet. We've got a white living room suit with black streaks through it and black paneling. And then my mom, which was a sewist, she made these lovely curtains for the living room. Now, here's the part you need to listen to, Rona. It was red velvet. I think velvet. Whatever heavy upholstery curtain fabric is, okay? It was red. And the tie backs was white with white tassels on them. So believe it or not, I know it sounds crazy, but it was very upscale fabulous during this time frame, okay? So, like a true sewist, when you have material left over, you have to find something to do with it, right? Well, back at this time, my mom made all my clothes growing up, and I always asked for ruffles, 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 everything. So for this particular Christmas, and I love long skirts. I love long skirts down to the floor. Like I said, I'm somewhere between 4 and 6 years old. Now, I had never watched the movie Gone with the Wind because I'm very young. What I had watched and understood was Carol Burnett and her version of Gone with the Wind. So you remember?
No.
Down and she had the curtain on. I mean, like, she really created shoulder pads if you really want to get technical.
Yeah.
So I opened up this present, and it is a long skirt with tons of ruffles on it. My mother, the sewist, used up the rest of the red fabric from the curtain. Rona, I thought I was all that in a bag of chips in this skirt. Now, the funny thing is, the skirt was so heavy, I couldn't even hardly wear it. And I would trip as I was walking in it because, one, the fabric itself, I mean, we're talking like major expensive curtains, like room darkening, thick red velvet curtains, right? And then you had all the ruffles on it, which just added extra weight. And believe it or not, folks, I was skinny back then, like beanpole skinny. Rona, oh my gosh. So now, the older that I got, and then I watched the real Gone with the Wind, I was like, oh my gosh. But my mom was a true sewist, right? Because isn't that what we do, guys? We find the extra fabric and we find a purpose. So yeah, my mom made me a red velvet velour, whatever you want to call it, skirt with ruffles. Top that, Rona, I was the girl that the curtains on the wall was also on my backside.
Well, none of my family, my grandmother on my dad's side, she was the only one that made any clothing or anything like that. So I don't have any clothing stories, except for the year that they decided that my cousin Leslie is 3 years younger than me, that she and I needed to have the exact same clothes and the exact same pajamas and yeah. We still have pictures. in those nightgowns. But anyway, so no, my story, the first thing that popped in my head when you said funny Christmas story was my grandfather. He was like my second dad. Like that's how close I was to him. And do you remember back in the day in grade school, they had the book clubs where you'd get those papers and you could scour through it to see what you wanted to order and all that. Okay, well,
Loved them.
yeah, they have this really cool little. So my grandfather, he made things out of wood. He was a woodworker, and I mean, he made all kinds of things, including their 4-poster bed and all kinds of stuff.
Wow.
Folding tables. I mean, yeah, he made a lot of really cool stuff. So it was a wooden bear with moving arms and moving legs, and it had this purple scarf and everything on it. And I wanted to get it for him so bad. And I think I was probably, oh my gosh, first grade, maybe. And first or second grade. And so I got it for him with my own money that I had saved up. I think it was probably $2, whatever. But it was too early for Christmas. So I hid it because I didn't want him to find it, right? And I wanted to wait till Christmas and it'd be a surprise. Well, then I couldn't find it when Christmas came around. And I think it was when they finally sold the house. And like, we're talking like 20 years later when they sold the house and we finally found it.
Are you serious?
Oh, yeah. So when I hide things, I can hide them really good.
Okay. So I'm dying to know, do you remember where the 6-year-old little Rona hid it?
No, I couldn't remember. I had absolutely no memory of hiding it at all because I think we bought it, or I think I got it in like October or something. It was quite a ways before Christmas. So by the time Christmas came around, I had completely forgotten where I put it. But it was up on this. So the back bedroom had a full wall of shelves that were built-in shelves,
Right.
and it was up there in one of the back like hidey hole corner things that nobody ever looks in because nobody's that tall and why would you, you know?
But yet the 6-year-old Rona climbed up there and hid it.
Oh yeah, I was a monkey. I climbed everywhere. Yeah.
Oh my God. That's like one of those time warps or time capsules that people hide so they'll be found years later. Little did you know, you might have really started that trend.
Okay, so are we ready for the next step? And
Yeah.
final step? Like it's almost done. I'm telling you, these things they're so easy. Okay, so I have my 4 corners on each one that's got their little things on them. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn them so that the flat part is together, and I want it so that the straight pieces are matched up, one straight piece with one curve. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So there's one straight piece with one curve, straight piece with the curve. And then what you're going to do is you're going to take that straight piece and tuck it in and then glue it to the back. So it's basically you want to try and, this is hard to do because it's so small. So you're going to try and get it centered. If you can see that where it's tucked in.
Yes.
And you want to center it so that it's up to the very top because you're going to trim off that extra.
I was getting ready to ask about that. Okay.
Yes, you're going to trim that off when you're done. So same thing, you're going to take a little dollop of glue. That's what the back side looks like. So you're going to take a little dollop of glue and put that there on each one. You're going to do all around, except the very last one you're going to leave open because that's where you're going to put your ribbon. So you're just going to take like maybe a couple inches, maybe 5-6 inches of ribbon, fold it, and then I have scissors here. So you just stick the end. Where did my loop go? So you stick the end inside that connection. So you would glue it all together.
Got you.
One.
It really doesn't look as hard as I thought it did. But I'm going to tell you, you got 11 minutes to finish it, girl. So Brenda LeBee says Shrinky Dinks were a special plastic that you put in the oven. They would get much smaller, but kept the colors and shapes. That must
Okay.
have been after my lifetime as a child because I don't remember
Yeah,
those.
I don't remember those either. It doesn't
Yeah.
sound familiar.
So Patience says, I can't find the gift cards I bought my husband for Father's Day. I've looked everywhere. It keeps waking me up at night of places to look.
So you know my frustration, Patience.
Let me tell you, mom would do the same thing. She still does. She would buy you birthday cards, right? And then your birthday would come and she'd be like, honey, I mean, I'm talking as a kid when I was a kid. She'd be like,
Yes.
honey, I got you a birthday card, but I can't find it right now. But when I do, I'll give it to you. But here's your present, right? Well, then she also went literally, I lie to you not, like 2 to 3 birthdays in a row. I got the exact same birthday card, the exact same birthday card. And so she's like, I could say that I knew, but and I loved it. It was this little girl and she had this pink dress on it. I don't remember how old I was. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is the same card I got last year. I love it. And mom thought I was meaning the exact card. And I'm like, no, I still have the one. This is just a replicate, right?
Right.
She was like, oh my gosh. And I was like, Mom, that just means the words in it, you really meant them. Like, and I love the card, but yeah, she would either buy you the same card again or she would hide your card and she couldn't find it.
Have you ever been gifted something back that you gifted a person? Like they gave it back to you, completely forgot that you were the person that gave it to them?
All I'm going to say is mother-in-law.
Okay.
That's all I'm going to say about that, Rona, which I don't have to be quiet because I'm divorced, so who cares? But yeah, mother-in-law.
Okay,
But
so
I only buy what I love. So if somebody gives it back, please, I'm happy. That means I got something I love. Have you ever had something that you bought someone and they gifted it back to you?
yeah, one time, but it was a coworker, so it wasn't like it was something that was well thought out or anything like that. So yeah, it wasn't a big deal. It was just kind of funny when it all came out. I was like, oh, okay.
Did they ever know that you were the one that initially bought it for them and you know that they was regifting?
No, I never said anything.
Yeah, I wouldn't have said anything either. Scott Flanagan says almost every year when we get done opening and dad goes, something is missing. I don't know where it is. I think that's a Christmas tradition in everyone's house. And
I think so too.
speaking of that, so siblings, for those of you that are watching that had siblings, did you ever open up a present that had your name on it, but you knew it was for your sibling? I.e., I think one year I opened up like Steve's Spider-Man Through the Looms, and he opened up my Wonder Woman Through the Looms or something. Like, yeah, as a kid, that's so embarrassing. It's bad enough you're getting your own undergarments, but you open up that was no fun. Mom and
No,
dad.
but I didn't have siblings growing up. They didn't come till I was much older. But I did wrap my own present one year from my grandparents.
Knowingly or unknowingly?
Unknowingly. So I like to wrap presents. I think it's fun. I enjoy doing it. And I think I did. No, I didn't. Okay. So I one year, Grandma, she hated wrapping presents. And since I enjoyed it so much, she decided to have me wrap everybody's gifts. I'm like, okay, so I was wrapping. And then I finished the last one and she said, wait, I have one more. And I was putting everybody's name on them, right? So she brings me out this little shoebox that's already like taped shut. And she handed it to me and she said, this is the last one. And I said, well, who's it for? She said, don't worry about it. I'll take care of it. Me being a kid, didn't think anything of it. I was like 12, 13, whatever. And then a week or so later, something like that, they were Elks Club members. So we went to the Elks Club Christmas party, and under the tree, I'll be darned, was that present, and it had my name on it.
Oh my gosh. I love it. Mom was the queen, which I'm guilty. I do the same thing too. I learned it from her. But mom was the queen of putting no names. And she would go, oh, that's how we always ended up opening up somebody else's gifts. Cause she'd be like, oh, this is yours and this is Steve's. And yeah, she wouldn't put names on them. I don't know why, because we would have never went and unwrapped them because we would have got our butt busted. Now we might have done a little shaky shake, but yeah.
Yeah. Oh, my son tried to do that one year. He actually tried to open his present and rewrap it.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah, he got so busted.
Yeah. No. We would have gotten, yeah, mom would have noticed that right off. Like, I don't know about Steve, but I will tell you, I didn't even really want to touch him under the tree. And if I did, I would try to put it back exactly because I just felt like mom had this photographic memory of, like where everything was. So yeah, you was just like trying to behave. Christine Lane says, never. My mother was the queen of wrapping and putting the right name on the gifts. Well, Christine, I'm glad you never had to open up your brother or sister's Fruit of the Loom. I'm just saying.
That would be pretty bad.
Merry Christmas, friends. Merry Christmas, Diane. I think you're on the road, if I remember correctly. You may be in Tennessee as we speak. I think I remember that. I know. So if anybody out there watching got snow, let's talk about that right after Rona. Are you ready to show us your final?
It would I just got to pop it out. So because it's all kind of like squishy together. So I don't know if did I do them the wrong way?
I think I did. The faux pas of you making them while we babbled. That's what I'm gonna say.
I think I put them together in the wrong. I think one was supposed to be facing the other direction because it didn't come out right.
Guys, I didn't tell Rona I was going to try to sabotage her, but I was hoping to sabotage her.
Okay. Yeah, I think one's facing the wrong direction.
Hold that up against the one that's correct. I just want it to be on camera that I was able to mess you up.
Yeah, see how this is puffed out? Yeah, it's because one of them is facing the wrong direction. That's why.
I love it. I love it. Andrea says, I am the queen of disguising gifts, like taping a gift card in top of a box of mac and cheese. I disguise the weight of things too. Yes. Oh my God, Andrea, I forgot about that. So
I've done that.
Kids, yes, mom and dad did that, our aunts and uncles, our grandparents. Put something.
Oh my gosh.
That would make noise.
Oh, you know what? I just folded the corners, folded the ones that were sticking backwards. They're all facing the same way. Now it's like a little bowl.
You have lost
Christmas table decoration. Sorry.
You have lost yourself. You have lost yourself. But yes, Andrea, so they would use boxes, like my grandparents would save, or my grandmother would save boxes all year long. So you would take the wrapping paper off and it might be a box of Fruit Loops, or I mean, it really wouldn't be Fruit Loops, but it would be the box, definitely. Christine Lang says, my brothers opened their gifts at 1 a.m., then recapped and put them back under the tree. Oh my gosh. Christine, what did your parents find out, or did only you know? That's my question. Teresa Justice says, you should give the one you made to Lisa for her tree. Teresa, I love a good misfit. I will take Rona's misfit ornament. It would go on my Charlie Brown tree.
There you go.
A little imperfection.
Okay, so yeah, the 1 year my mama, it's always from my grandparents. Mama sent me the box, the Christmas box, showed up at the house, had my name on it. I unwrapped it, opened the box, and it was full of pecans with a great big bow on it. And I was devastated. I was like, she gave me pecans for Christmas. They were whole shell, like, just straight off the tree, whole pecans, and whole box full of them. And then so I opened the card that had come with it, and she said, Merry Christmas, Rona. Don't worry, the pecans are for your mom. And I got confused. So then I grabbed the bow and pulled it, and down, buried inside the pecans, was this tiny little box with a ring.
Oh, What a great memory. I
Yeah.
love that.
Oh,
Christine said they never said anything other than go to bed. I bet your parents knew. I have no doubt. So,
okay.
Rona, we only
I was,
have a minute or two left. So, my question to you is there a particular candy that has a Christmas memory attached to it that you can think of? That when you see this candy, it always takes you back to your childhood Christmas. Oh, yeah, duh.
trash. Mammoth's trash.
Mammal's trash.
Crack.
So I actually have a couple. One I don't have here tonight because I haven't been to the store, but it will happen before Christmas. Steve and I, our grandmother on our dad's side, she always wrapped us up a box of chocolate covered cherries. So that is always and forever. She is no longer with us, but I always try to make sure that there is a box that has happened every year since then. The other thing is peppermint patties, because my great grandmother, actually her mother, loved thin mints or peppermint candies. And at Christmas, she would, I don't know how old she was when I was young, but she was very old. I didn't get many years with her, but that is one of my only memories. Not only, I have a few memories of her, but I still to this day, I keep these in my freezer just because of Grandma Sally, great Grandma Sally. So definitely, absolutely love it. Carrie Pelchek says, my husband and the kids try to out tape each other on the gifts. Bad enough to use a knife to open them. I still do the little tiny box inside of multiple box, like the Russian nesting dolls. Of course, each one is wrapped.
Of course. Well, yeah.
So fun. So
Okay.
it's so good to hear, Rona, that it's not just my family and your family that does mischief stuff at
Yeah.
Christmas.
Yeah, I have one more thing that I brought down to share that before we go, as far as like favorite Christmas gifts that we've
Yeah.
ever received. And this we were talking about showing our age. I actually have to hold the bottom because the battery box area the batteries like pop out, so I have to hold it down. Now these are 4C batteries, so that should give you a time frame. Did you ever go to arcades?
I know what you're going to show. I love it.
And it still works.
I love it. What was the name of it? Was it
Cubert.
Cubert.
That's Cubert. So I used to, my grandmother worked at the bowling alley and out in Gig Harbor, and I used to go and play the machines because my parents or my mom bowled on a league, my grandparents bowled on a league. They were doing a Lucky Strike, all that stuff. So I would either play pool or I'd play the arcades. So when I was a kid, I got the Cubert, and yeah, you can see how old it is. But I used to, because it's hard to see during the light during the daytime. So I would literally like tent myself under a blanket on the couch and sit there for like all day, just playing Cubert. Yeah. But yeah, it still works.
Love it. That is priceless. That reminds me of back in the day, and like you said, we're so showing our age tonight. But Steve got 1 year for Christmas, and I don't think he got them both at the same year. And maybe he got one for his birthday, but they weren't but about that big. And it was a football game and one was a baseball game.
Yes.
And you do these buttons, and it was the red dot, like on the baseball, the red dot would run around, or on football, you would have the red dot going up. Do you know what I'm talking about? I don't remember the brand. Maybe Mattel.
No, I know exactly what you're talking about. Yep. It was like the precursor to these guys. It was the first little handheld. Yeah. Yep. I remember them.
Oh my gosh, it was so funny. Steve would get them for Christmas. And like I said, I think that's how the second one happened, because he got one and Daddy took it and played with it. And here's Steve like, hello, can I play with my toy? So I think that's how the second one came into existence. And so they both would have one to play. But oh my gosh. Rona, I always love babbling with you, but I have enjoyed tonight going down Christmas memory lane and talking about little things that we can make our friends, because you know, when something's homemade, it means so much and you hold it so dear. So it's been nice. It's been nice. Even you with your little moose, well, your reindeer, I'm going to call him Moose because Scott, before you got on here, I was like, Rona looks like Moose be quilting. I love it. I love it. Guys, thank you so much. You know, we'll be back here in January 2025 on the third Tuesday night for more Quilt Babble Live with Lisa and Rona. And Rona, I don't know about you, but I hope everybody has just an amazing Merry Christmas and Happy New Year.
Yes, 1000%. And check the newsletter. Watch your email if you're signed up for my newsletter, because I have a pretty big tour announcement that's coming out this week. So for 2026.
More travel. Are you traveling for Christmas?
No, not Christmas. We went out for Thanksgiving, but just after Christmas, I will be going out because my birthday is the first week of January. So I'm flying out to spend my birthday with mom and dad. So yeah.
Awesome. I love it. Andrea says Merry Christmas. Guys, Merry Christmas to you all. Sharon says, you guys have the best Merry Christmas. Christy Lane says Merry Christmas. Guys, thank you all for tuning in. It really does mean so much. Miss Brenda LeBee, thank you for tuning in. She says, thanks, ladies. I've enjoyed listening while I put binding on a Christmas present. There you go. I like it. I like it. And yeah, Scott agrees. Definitely moose antlers.
Yep.
I love it.
It's moose or reindeer. I'm good with either. It's fine.
Absolutely. Merry Christmas, everybody. You guys
Bye.
be blessed. See you soon.